Good afternoon. My name is Maurice Comer, and I would like to discuss the challenges facing supply chain management. Supply chain management is the management of movement of goods from point A to point B. The challenge that I would like to discuss is The gender gap. If you look back 25 years ago, there was no supply chain management. It was a bunch of warehouses and trucking companies. And if you looked at that transparency, you would see that the makeup of the businesses were mainly about 90% men. These jobs were very physically intensive, very physically challenging, and just jobs that women would feel comfortable in or didn't even apply for. That was one reason why women lacked in supply chain management because those jobs were led by transportation managers, distribution managers, supervisors. Now, if you roll that back 25 years into the future, those same managers went on to successful careers in supply chain management, and their subordinates followed in their footsteps by being promoted as supervisors and distribution managers and transportation managers. Um, I read an article by Will Green, Closing the Gender Gap, and he discussed that same um, characteristic of men being promoted on potential. They jumped at the opportunity, even though they didn't have the experience that led them to getting the upper hand on those supply chain management jobs, while women um, usually didn't even jump at those positions because they felt like they weren't ready. Men were the go getters. Another reason he spoke of was women took time off to have families, and that time off set them back in the supply chain management field because when they came back to their jobs, those positions weren't there anymore. Because in the supply chain management field, the next day can be a disaster, and companies feel like they need that supply chain manager there at all times. So, why do women lag in these positions? They lag in salary by 20%. Because if you look at the makeup supply chain managers or in the supply chain field, women make up about 30 to 40% in the supply chain field, but only 10% in supply chain management. Another article I read was Kevin O'Mara on women in supply chain, a bias of action. And he and about 10 business leaders um, had a seminar, and they discussed how can we get women in these roles. And he discussed a having an advocacy group who could put pressure on these companies to hire more women as managers, or having some type of quota system. Now, the quota system has helped minorities get jobs, so I feel like why not? It should help women get those roles too. And in the supply chain arena. So let me tell you a story of why I feel women are having a hard time in this gap in supply chain management. Just with my experience coming from high school 15 years ago and going right into the warehouse field, um, I didn't see that many women. Women had small roles, maybe in as a secretary or a customer service rep, but none of the physical intensive positions that I just spoke of. So that is very true. Um, Large distribution companies I worked in, very small percent in those jobs like forklift, shipping, receiving. I never really saw that many women working in those positions being promoted. Yes, I saw men being promoted. I was promoted as a shipping manager. I was promoted as a warehouse manager. So what I spoke of, it is a dilemma going forward for women in this area. Um, do I see a need for quotas for women? Yes, I believe that would help tremendously. Advocacy groups putting pressure on companies, yes, um, because there shouldn't be 40 to 50% of women in entry level supply chain management positions and only 10% in top management jobs. That's not right. Um, the salary, they shouldn't be lagging behind 20% in salary if they can do the same job as men. So this is a big challenge for supply chain going forward. Um, I think that there's a right way and a wrong way to do things, and it's a discrepancy. It's a farce if you have women lagging behind this. So I believe that this is a big challenge facing the supply chain management career.